Hi, this is Robert from Pioneer Smokehouses, and today we're going to do some smoked salt in my Masterbuilt Signature Series 40-inch smoker. First thing, I just want to tell you a little bit about this smoker. It is an electric smoker. This is the previous generation, so it's not the current generation. There's only two major differences in this generation and the previous. There's a little bit of layout differences inside, but for the most part, your control, where this one does not have the Bluetooth or the wireless features, and where the vent is. The vent on the other one is located on the top, right where this tin is, and the vent on this model is on the side. It makes a little bit of difference, but you see here that I added a modification of a smokestack. You can just set one directly on the other one, and it will benefit you greatly because it will keep the smoke from coming into your face. Except when you open the door. But if you're opening the door when you're smoking, then you probably shouldn't be doing that. So anyway, no, you're not cooking if you're looking. So let's talk a little bit about the salt. So first of all, smoking salt is really good. It's a delicious thing. It adds a lot of flavors to your food, and if you go to buy it, it's really expensive. So doing it at home is cheap and it's pretty easy. So let's get started. So first thing that you want to do is you want to make sure you have a clean smoker. When I talk about a clean smoker, I don't mean clean your smoker. What I mean is a freshly seasoned smoker. You don't want to be putting salt in right after fresh fish. So if you just burn off that about an hour with some smoke and then let it cool off, then you're ready to use your smoker to make salt. Next is wood type. We have a few different wood types that we usually focus on. If you want a medium flavor, it's probably going to be hickory. My personal favorite is mesquite for just about, it depends. If I'm hot grilling, maybe pecan, but mesquite for most of my cold smoking is a lot of what I do, or for my lower temperature smoke, like if I'm doing a smoked salmon, like a dried, more of a jerky consistency. Fruit flavor is always good, but you'll need to increase the smoke time when you use fruit because it's really mild. Next, let's talk a little bit about salt. Bar none, I use the kosher salt for almost everything, and right now I have Morton's in my cabinet. I'm not pushing Morton's, but Morton's is a consistent brand. I've used a lot of it, and I always have good results. So I've used some other ones and never had much issues with it. But some other options include Himalayan pink salt, and wind is out of control today, coral salt, and maybe, I'm going to murder this, a machio salt. So I'm not, that's a real popular one to smoke, and I'm not real familiar with it. I usually use just the kosher. So when we go to put it on the tray, so it looks like the wind has told us that that's where we're at in this. I like to take everything that I do and put it on a cookie sheet. So first we start with cookie sheet, and then from there, then I like to set a grill mat down. Now if I'm doing like a cold smoked cheese, I'll set the cheese on there and then I'll walk it out to the smoker like that. Sometimes I do season the cheese, either with pepper or with smoked paprika or something like that. There you go, we worked in the smoked paprika for all my fans. Then what I like to do with salt, or even with nuts, is I like to use a piece of parchment paper. This is Easy Pop parchment paper sheets that are the cookie sheet size, so I like it. It's really convenient. Then if you fold the edges just a little bit, like you see here, it gives the sheet a little bit of rigidity, and then it won't just bend on you. Then take your salt and lightly spread it. I'm just going to put a little bit on here just so I can give you an example, because I've already done a whole batch today. I did a light batch earlier today and had a little bit of an issue with my microphone, so I went back to the old microphone. I just couldn't figure out the new one, and it could be me, it could be that I'm cheap. Then we'll just sprinkle the pink one. When you use a fine grind thing like the Himalayan salt that I have today, this is a fine grind, and the kosher is a coarse. You just want to sprinkle it from up above a little bit, and it will help spread out and bounce around a little bit. So before another gust of wind comes, we'll move on here. it's spread out pretty evenly. And then what you'll do is you open your smoker and you will slide the tray right up to it and put it on there. And then a little bit more that I can get in there. And then you can just complete it, push it all the way on there, and you don't have to worry about it falling around. You don't have to worry about anything pushing through. And like when you're using the cheese, like I mentioned earlier, it keeps everything from sticking to the grate. And then when you're done, you throw the grill mat in the dishwasher. That's pretty easy. And with the salt, you might not even need to bother with that. Now, I'm going to go ahead and shut this for right now, and then we'll talk about it a little bit. So I'm using a cold smoke device today because we're cold smoking. What that means, because I'm going to mention hot smoke here for a second, is that this smoker will not burn chips inside of it at less than 160 degrees. So that means you need to use a cold smoke device. I have a lot of different options for that. One of my favorite powered ones is this little smoke chief. It can be added to just about anything, including your propane grill, which I find really convenient. There is a little pipe on the side here, and then you can just put another pipe, extend it to whatever device you're using, or it comes with a little kit that you can use to hang it right on the side of your stuff. I don't like to hang it to the side of my things. I just put drill a little hole in the side, and I'm done. And then this one here is a tube, and you have to pretty much pack that full for it to work well. And then what I normally use is this right here. Now this is the second one of these I've owned, and I just bought a brand new one, but for this video I haven't opened the new one yet, and we're just going to put that there. You'll pack it full of the pellets, get it as tight as you can, and go around as far as you want to actually by the time. So like here is like 4 hours, here is 8 hours, and all the way full is supposed to be 12 hours. Then you just take the thing and you light it on the end like this. And then once it's going, it's already going now, but in this example, once it's going, you just blow it out and then look at it go. So then, in this case here, this will go right on your grill, by the way, your propane grill, and work just great. Or if you have a charcoal grill, you can put it down below next to the charcoal. Just don't touch it, the charcoal on the side of it, because it'll ruin the metal faster than it normally does. Slide it into the birdhouse. Now, I'm going to show you a little picture of the birdhouse, but basically I call it that, but really what it is just a box with a pipe coming out of it. And then I just slide that in there. And then, on a windy day like today, I take this brick and I put it in front of the opening. I don't want to cover the opening completely because that thing needs air to burn. And then it just flows on the inside. So this will keep from heating up your smoker. So your smoker will run at whatever the outside temperature is, plus maybe 5 or 10 degrees. And you don't want it to go above 100 when you're doing a cold smoke method. If you're doing cheese, your limit's about 80 degrees. I'm only doing 8 hours on this because my wife doesn't like it too smoky, but I recommend going up to 12 hours normally on most, and even more for the fruit. So if you're going to do cherry or apple, I say go to 16. So then, after that, you pop this open and you slide out your smoked salt. So this is the salt that I did earlier today. And I played around with this a couple of times, so it's kind of spread out all over the place. And the wind has been playing havoc with me over the last couple hours. So I'm going to put a picture right up here. On the right there, you'll see the kosher salt. It's kind of yellowish in color, so it started out completely white, and it took off that, it turned into that yellow color, which is the smoked color. And then here on the left is the pink Himalayan salt. And it's taken on the smoke, and it's really mild. So you can literally just take, I know, here we go. That's pretty good. That's the kosher salt that I just sampled. I'm not a huge salt person, but because it has that little smoky taste, and the kosher is, in my opinion, the best salt, It really works really well. So now I'm going to talk about hot smoking for just a minute here. If you're going to hot smoke, you're going to go between 225 to 275 degrees for 3 to 4 hours. You don't really want to go much above that, and a smoker like this, you can't go much above that. The highest setting on this one is 270, and even then it has a hard time maintaining that unless it's summer out. So you're probably looking closer at about 260, which is perfect. And then you want to stir it more often when you're hot smoking. So with this, you only need to stir it once or twice, maybe once every 4 hours. But with the hot smoke, you want to stir it once every hour. And then if it looks like it's starting to melt or anything, then you can cut the temperature back down. Well, now the question is, what do we use this salt for? Well, you can use it on anything like French fries or popcorn, or you could use it on your steak or your chicken. But what I like to use it on is things that you don't put in the smoker. Like, for instance, vegetables like Brussels sprouts, they don't smoke very well at all. They actually get pretty bitter when you put them in the smoker. So you could cook those in the normal method, saute them in butter or however you choose to do. I like to use butter and bacon and saute them together. And then the bacon will have a little bit of smoky flavor, but you can add a little bit more of the smoked salt to really bring that smoky flavor out. Soups and salads are also excellent choices. You get a little bit of that smoke flavor to the soup, and then with the salad, you could smoke some of the ingredients and then you would have to chill them, or you could just lightly sprinkle some of this Himalayan salt right on there and it would go in really well, or include it in your salad dressing, of course. Smoked salt, it's just something great to do at home. There's no reason that you should have to buy it. It's, you know, cheap, easy, and it's really tasty. So if you want to read the written recipe, there's a link right at the top to the written recipe in the description below. Don't forget to subscribe. This is definitely something that you'll want to do. There's additional links to all the products that I use in my video here today. They are affiliate links, so if you use them, I will get a commission, and I appreciate it. So thank you very much for watching. Have a great day.